sweet deck. So Eugene, thank you very much for donating for this deck list. So today we are playing with 4-color control, aka Stryfo pile. Kind of the signature card of this deck list is ThrabenU, which you might have heard synergizes very well with the card Punishing Fire. So you discard Punishing Fire to deck, and then you use Grove of the Burnwillows to give the opponent some life and get your Punishing Fire back, and you rinse and repeat. There's a lot of interesting main deck cards here, and we could spend a long time talking about the ins and outs of all of these, but I'm just going to say that I trust Stryfo knows what Stryfo is doing in the deck that is, named after him. Hey, welcome. Glad you're here, and super looking forward to this, by the way. So we have a lot of We have a lot of very interactive things that can mess with what our opponent is doing. On the stack, hand disruption, counter spells, destroying permanents that are in play, elking things, just getting card advantage, This deck has a lot of wiggle room and it can play against anything. Stryfo, I think, is one of, if not the most successful pilot in the weekly legacy challenges. So I'm super excited to go and see his deck in action. It's been many, many moons since I've gone and played this. Honestly, I don't even know that it needs Life from the Loam. You just Dak Faden and look for lands when you need them, right? That's how that works. So there are some things that are pretty good against this deck. So for example, a Chalice of the Void on 2 that shuts off a lot of the removal can be pretty rough. But it's not like the deck is dead to anything. I'm probably not supposed to throw this back. I don't like it. This isn't the kind of hand that I'm used to keeping. But given all of the various situational cards that we can draw that are very good, like Brainstorm is super powerful in this deck. I'm going to hope that I can just Punishing Fire one of my opponent's turn 1 plays. Alright. We will be looking for a Force of Will in response to that, unfortunately. Nope. We're just gonna bury a Swamp. And I guess put the Brainstorm on top. We have to redraw one of those. This is not what we're looking for in a Game 1 scenario. So they're going to Cabal Therapy, target themselves, put a Dredger into the graveyard, and probably go ham and beat me. So they're going to be left with Thug Bridge in hand. At least they don't have a Faithless Looting. I do have that going for me. So my opponent is just going to Dredge. I need to set a stop on my opponent's turn. I want to fetch away this Swamp that's on top of my library. So do I have a Bayou I can get? I do. I will take that then. Blue, black. We'll counter the Faithless Looting. Hey, do you think I should DAC and target my opponent? Is that good here? I don't think that's good here. So how can I get things out of the graveyard? I can draw a Snapcaster Mage and Punishing Fire it in order to get stuff out of the graveyard. My opponent does not have an Icarid yet, so if I play a DAC Fade in this turn, it can stick. Alternatively, I'm looking to brainstorm for... I don't know what. I think just using my mana efficiently and playing DAC is probably pretty good. So like we can DAC plus pitch probably the DAC. Okay. So now we can clear all the bridge from below's next turn. So we can pitch DAC, and I was probably going to pitch a land, but I don't think that's true anymore. I don't think we're anywhere close to playing this Jace. So I'm going to pitch that. Not 100% sure that that's correct here. Just 2 bridges in the graveyard right now. Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay. I'm starting to feel slightly more confident that we might be able to do something this game. Alright, do I want this Plague Engineer this game? Well, I guess I can just discard 2 lands. And not really have to think about that. I don't really think I need double black. So I can use this to destroy my own Snapcaster. So am I willing to destroy my own Snapcaster for 2 bridges right now? But I should really just... Well, if they hit with Cabal Therapy, it's super awkward. No, they're going to Cabal Therapy no matter what. Yeah, so in response to them sacking the Narcomoeba, I'll Snapcaster and destroy it. Oh, I'm very well aware of how that joke goes. So I target Drown and Lock. Target my Snapcaster and go blue, black, destroy my Snapcaster, kill the bridge from below's. Alright. Opponent misses on the therapy, but now knows these 3 cards in my hand. So I guess I can brainstorm, dig 3 deep, then activate Dak Thaden, draw the cards that I don't want, and pitch them. Not sure if it's better to brainstorm first or Dak first. I don't really know what my long-term plan to win this game is, since I have to, like, use so many of my resources to just, like, keep what my opponent's doing in check. And I basically have to win via the combat step, via, like, Snapcaster, Plague Engineer, Oko, Brazen Borrower. Let's try to sculpt out a game plan. I mean, Assassin's Trophy is kind of sweet to have access to as the game goes long. I think I'm going to junk one land. And I don't know that I necessarily want to junk any of these other cards. They seem pretty good. Plague Engineer is sort of awkward. Oh, that's super cute. So I definitely need to keep this then. So I think I'm going to put back land, Plague Engineer, play land, fetch, get this, plus deck, target me. What do I even want to Force of Will at this point? They're really not going to cast that many cards. Let's junk Punishing Fire and Force of Will. I can hold, I don't want to hold up Snapcaster Punishing Fire. I don't know what I'm looking for with this Ponder. It's that Plague Engineer again. So I just have Return Punishing Fire held up right now. What's Icarid's type? Horror? So I guess if I'm able to clear the bridge from below by killing my own creatures, then Icarid coming back every turn is the thing that could beat me. So let's name that and then pass the turn. This is really a deck where you need to understand your matchups to know what you're playing towards. And I don't understand this matchup at a fundamental level, and so I'm kind of floundering over what I should be doing. I'm coming out okay, but maybe not fantastically. All right, my opponent names and does get a Snapcaster Mage. There's one bridge. So I can just start taking my opponent's permanents. So I've got that going for me. not sure if I'm supposed to get greedy and, like, take one more turn, but I think I am. I should have returned the Punishing Fire first. I'm dumb. So I was planning on just, like, Punishing Firing this zombie token for turn. I think I'm still okay with doing that. I could just do it now, Punishing Fire this, get an attack in. Next turn, ultimate, DAC, play Oko. I think I'm just going to let them have 2 zombies. Because I can start taking their zombies with Punishing Fire, so it's not actually that big a deal. I just have to watch the 3rd creature they get. The 3rd creature they get would let them dread return. So I can ultimate this, play this, go green, black, steal a zombie. That's my zombie. It can't be destroyed by my own stuff. I can now, at any point, Punishing Fire my own zombie to get rid of a bridge. But I think I'm just going to wait on that and play to the board a little bit more. So if my opponent dread returns a large creature, that I can just take with a Punishing Fire. So there's no Grave Troll or anything for them to get. They could just get, like, a Stinkweed Imp. Okay, well, I guess now we just start doing things. Are both bridges in there yet? No, both bridges are not in there yet. I really want both bridges to be in my opponent's graveyard before I start getting rid of things. So what if I do this? You're an elk. You're my elk. Now is it worth it to just, like, kill a bridge from below? Now it's probably worth it to kill a bridge from below. Hold on. Does that token get put into my opponent's graveyard? That token gets put into my opponent's graveyard. Okay, well, I learned something today. I also could have tapped better. Sort of quick, thank you very much for the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So I need to get rid of this last bridge, and to do that, I need to put a creature into my own graveyard. So I need to draw a Snapcaster Mage, or actually be fine with killing my own Plague Engineer. One, two, three, four. I can't do that and hold up Punishing Fire. So I think I'm just going to hold up my spells here. No, maybe I don't. Yeah, I'll just hold up Punishing Fire here. I now understand why my opponent so aggressively named Snapcaster Mage with their Cabal therapies, even though it was pretty unlikely that I was actually going to have them. My opponent just concedes from the game there, which I'm very grateful for, because I used like half of my clock on that game. They just have, alright, I don't gain very much graveyard hate. Deed seems great. Graveyard hate seems great. This seems good. Plague Engineer seemed pretty good that game. And honestly, I might just need creatures to kill my own stuff with. So this seems beyond slow. I don't think I want that. Oh, I have a Scavenging Ooze as well. I have mixed feelings on the discard, because they're fine on turn 1, pretty bad most turns after that. I might get rid of that. I might get rid of that, just planning on using Punishing Fire as my primary removal. Fire Blast can hit some things, but I think it's kind of narrow. Veil of Summer is probably medium. Like, it does stop a Cabal Therapy, but otherwise it doesn't do a lot. I might just board in some of this stuff just as other bodies to kill, as weird as that sounds. So if I, like, cut the Thoughtseize, play another Tracker. Might even, like, play 2 Trackers just to increase the number of bodies that I can kill. I think I'm going to ship this one. I think this hand is fine, but I think most hands with Graveyard Hate are going to be better. I'll toss this one back, and we'll probably keep our 5-card hand no matter what. Okay, this is just, like, strictly better than the previous hand. Probably keep this and throw away our more expensive cards here. So I've already learned something today. I did not know if you steal an opponent's token and you control it when it dies, that it goes to your opponent's graveyard. I guess that makes sense, but that's not something that I had internalized. My opponent has mulligan to 4, so this Spellbomb is probably going to be devastatingly good. Alright, my opponent has a sweet hand. They need to hit Narcomoeba plus Cabal Therapy plus hit my Spellbomb this turn, or I think they die. If I let them go to their upkeep, they can potentially get an Icarid. So honestly, if you want PC advice, you should message Min on Twitter. Min answers those sorts of questions all the time. I think this is a great brainstorm situation since I have multiple lands that I want to throw back. Deed will wipe all these off the field, which I'm super happy about. I think I'll put back 2 lands. So I'll use this deed, wipe both of my opponent's creatures, hopefully while they still have no dredgers in graveyard. And then I'll have Tireless Tracker plus land to follow it up, and I'll feel very good about that. Things get a little scarier if my opponent can jump dump. Bridge is very good there. Bridge means that if I wipe the battlefield, it's not super effective. Does that mean I'm just playing my tracker out first? Or I can just bridge away both of these or I can just deed away both of these things and then go from there. To a certain extent, if I just have this tracker in play, it does mitigate a lot of the threat of the things that are already on the battlefield. Alright, so this turn I play a land. I can Punishing Fire my own Tireless Tracker, kill it, crack my clue, or get Punishing Fire back. Then next turn... Okay, yeah. Actually, I might even, like, end of turn Brainstorm and just, like, try to guarantee that I can hit this land. So I can go 5 mana, do my thing. A Breakthrough is kind of annoying, but I guess it's happening. I could Brainstorm in response and counter it. So the upside of countering it... Alright, I'm Brainstorming in response. Alright, your Breakthrough resolves. Please hit a bunch of bridges. One Dredger. I don't think I'm going to get greedy here. I blow up my clue doing it this way. I didn't think of that. So my opponent can get an Icarid hit on me. They get one dredge to get another dredger into the graveyard, which they have succeeded in doing. So they'll probably Oh, they did not choose to Cabal Therapy me. Ugh. So while there's no bridges in there, I do need to kill that. Alright, my opponent has another Icarid. Or no, that was the same Icarid, it's just moved places. I've tapped this poorly. I was thinking about leaving up certain things, and then I didn't actually leave up Punishing Firing the Icarid. So that was poor on my end. So now there's a bridge from below in the graveyard that I'm going to care about. Beautiful. Yes, I know I know it's there. Thank you. Alright, so now we have a Scavenging Ooze in play versus Dredge. That should pretty much lock things up here. Is indeed going to lock things up. I don't know. I'm not thinking about this. I'm just turning cards sideways at this point, in case that's not clear. I'm just trying not to time out. I think that's the only way I win. Sorry, the only way that I lose. I could have eaten both Faithless Lootings in response, but I think it's just better to do this. So now I just have lethal on board. Whew. Opponent wishes us good luck. GG's, friend. GG's. Alright, so I'm going to need to play a little bit faster than that next time around. You know, we very reasonably could have timed out if my opponent didn't concede game one there. This is definitely a deck that has a lot of moving parts that you really just need the reps for in order to, like, understand, like, what are your better lines where. I have a hand full of Magic the Gathering cards that I can cast, and lands to cast them, so I'll keep it. My opponent is probably playing a fair deck. Maybe something like Maverick, Death and Taxes, something of that nature. If that is the case, I love this handful of removal cards and sweepers. Loam, maybe? Yep. What's my basic land situation look like? One island, one swamp. So this will get island, so I'll want to play a swamp so I can have Drown in the lock up. We can shut off that stop. I don't think I beat that. This doesn't feel good. So opponent's going to life from the loam. I'm going to drown in the lock their life from the loam. And then I don't know where to go from there. Oh god, no, I have to get a non-basic to do this. Alright. Your life from the loam resolves. So here's the new plan. Snapcaster beats for the rest of the game. I think I'm under 5% to win this game. Yeah. I think I'm going to save my brain power for the post-sideboard games here. All right. So I like Force of Negation for Planeswalkers. I think the cards that are 2-for-1s or better are still going to be good. If my opponent's playing Bitter Blossom, then Plague Engineer is really good. Otherwise, it's just medium. Notion Thief against a Sylvan Library is pretty hilarious. That may be going too deep, but Sylvan Library will be one of the cards that will be like really, really good against me. So I think I have a pile of cards that I can consider, and I just need to think about what I actually want to do. So I'll probably go Pyroblast out. I'll probably go Thoughtseize out. Fatal Push is fine to take care of knights. Punishing Fire kills smaller things that my opponent might be playing, like Bob. Brazen Borrower seems kind of medium. I don't know that I want to 2-for-1 myself with Force of Will. Force of Negation is hard castable. So what is Veil stopping? Stops some Planeswalker activations. Stops Abrupt Decay. Yeah, that's probably fine. Let's assume Notion Thief is too deep. And trim a 1-drop for Chalice reasons. We'll go with that. I would like to play first. Maybe this deck is also scared enough of Wasteland that I'm supposed to bring in the Surgical as well. That really didn't occur to me until after I had already whacked the submit button. I think all these cards are fine. So we'll get to Ooze next turn. We can take that Wasteland out. That's one of the things that I was saying. Okay. That probably needs to get answered before I play an Ooze. Bob is too scary. So I can get Bayou and play Trop. Don't love mana ramping my opponent, but I'd rather turn their Bob into a land than let them get random cards out of it. Let's see how bad this is. It's not the end of the world. It is unfortunately quite good against the cards that I want to use to pressure it. And I just used an Assassin's Trophy, which is something that I would have liked to have used to kill this. Oh, and my opponent has the Punishing Fire. Now I have a Punishing Fire. Okay, that's not bad. So we'll go green and 1. Play an ooze. Use the ooze. Eat the Bob. That puts it out of Punishing Fire range. So my opponent will presumably use Liliana Edict to kill it. Then I can Punishing Fire Liliana, kill Liliana. No. Things are bad. So I think I need to... I'll bin the Punishing Fire. I can get it back later, maybe. So I think I need to hit a land, Jace, Jace minus Knight. Needed to be a blue land. Should have been more specific there. So unfortunately, my opponent has 2 red mana, so they can Punishing Fire this thing immediately. And the way I've played is playing towards drawing another Assassin's Trophy to answer the Liliana. But I think the Knight is enough of a problem as is. So I think like 100% the Knight just gets a Wasteland here and knocks me off of black, which takes me off a lot of my outs. Opponent has called oops. Super happy about that. Yeah, I don't know how I went from here. I don't know what they're oopsing about. Everything's still a disaster. Okay. Okay. So there's hope now, right? So I go blue, 1, blue, 1. No, there's not hope. It's just Punishing Fire again. Whatever. Like we'll make my opponent do it. If they somehow mess up and like don't just kill my Jace, +1, get rid of my Punishing Fire, then I guess there's hope for me. So as long as they have a red fetchable source left in their deck, I am a sad panda. They had a red fetchable source, yep. Punishing Fire goes the way of the dodo. Okay. Okay. We're fine. Maybe not good, but this allows me to continue playing the game known as Magic the Gathering. Never mind the Wasteland and Punishing Fire locks that my opponent has going, that either one would probably beat me, but both together is devastating. Yeah, definitely should have brought in the Surgical. Feel pretty darn confident about that now after playing another game like this. Alright, Brainstorm. What do you got for me? I don't think I have Fatal Push to dig to. I think that was in my sideboard. Yeah. Alright. We tried. So this should have come in for Wasteland / Punishing Fire. Normally with the decks that I play, I don't think Surgical's good against Loam because I'm playing things like Death and Taxes where I don't like super care about Wasteland Recursion. I just care about Punishing Fire. And so just having access to something like Rest in Peace is enough. I think my hand is medium minus. I'm keeping it because I'm on the draw, and if I draw into something that this Snapcaster Mage can interact with over the first few turns, I actually feel fine about this hand. Yeah, so I was on Stryfo pile, and, you know, we did not fire on all cylinders that match. Oh, it's show and tell. I 100% implicitly trust Stryfo on all of their decisions in deck building. Oh, no, it's not show and tell. It's just an Urza deck. It's just a painter deck. My opponent has Painter, Grindstone, and the ability to bring them back from the graveyard with Emery. I can Punishing Fire Emery and then die to Grindstone. I'm just going to confirm that I have nothing that I can... It's not true. I could Brainstorm into Veil of Summer. Everything's blue right now, so I could use that to buy me a turn. But can I actually do anything at 3 mana that beats Emery? I think the answer is no. Oh god, no. The answer is yes. I can Veil of Summer into Dak Faden with Runner and take one of their beloved artifacts. It has to be both. Alright, it's not. We needed the Veil first. Okay. So, what do I like? My opponent is going to put Painter on blue, and Pyroblasts are good. Some amount of graveyard hate to deal with Emery is probably appropriate. So Plague Engineer probably doesn't particularly matter. While Veil of Summer wasn't out there, I think most of the time that's not what I'm going to want to be doing. Well, yeah, I'm going to assume that's not what I'm going to want to be doing. Can probably trim a Punishing Fire safely. I have so many pieces of interaction that I'm not sure which ones are the worst. Am I a madman to want to board out Force of Will? Like, I have blasts to fight over all of their blue spells. I have a billion pieces of spot removal to take Painter off the battlefield. Actually, Jace is probably medium. It's blue. It gets Pyroblasted from the other side. It's like maybe I'm supposed to cut Jace for Tireless Tracker. And 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate might be too much here. But I'm willing to be wrong. Yeah, let's board something like this. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Brainstorm Shuffle, turn 3 Snapcaster Thoughtseize. Yes. Yeah, I'm playing slowly. This deck has so many different singletons that you need to be aware of. That is a little bit obnoxious. Ooh, okay. So if I take Astrolabe here, they actually don't have access to red mana without blowing a Lotus Petal. I don't hate that. I also just think taking the Emery so that my opponent can't recur stuff is probably fine too. I also don't think it's crazy to just go after the Brainstorm. I think I'm going to take the Astrolabe here. Well, streaming and teaching are basically the same thing. Your target audience has just changed. So the skill set carries over very well. I didn't want my opponent to hit a land. Alright. Enjoy your red mana. You have it anyway. So I'm going to take this exact opportunity to Brainstorm, because if my opponent wants to Pyroblast, then they lose an artifact for Emery. I don't know if I'm going to get mooned. I don't think I'm going to play around Blood Moon this game. I could. This could get Swamp, this could be Island. Maybe I will. Alright, so they can currently recur Astrolabe. And the Lotus Petal as well. My undergrad degrees are in classics and biology. My grad degree is in Greek and Latin. So awkwardly, I can't... Well, that's not true. So I could play Snapcaster Mage, trade it for the Pyroblast that's in hand, and then Thoughtseize something else. Or if they let Snapcaster resolve, then I do just snap Thoughtseize. I've not played the Bant Maverick deck. I've played a bunch of random Oko decks, but not that one. Yeah, so that's 100% as expected. We're going to take Goblin Engineer here, leaving them with Brainstorm and Emery. No, I have Fitzgerald and Fagels right now as the translations of the Odyssey that I'm referencing. So I cannot comment. I have a lot of removal spells that I can hit for this Emery, and I feel pretty good if I take that off the table. But now I don't know anything about my opponent's hand. White? I assume that's just a colorless, effectively. Okay. So getting this Swamp to play around potentially getting Blood Moon or back to basics earlier in the game is biting me in the butt now, because I can't Snapcaster Brainstorm with what I have available and then fetch away. I can Snapcaster Brainstorm, leave up Badlands, and I can hit Push or Bolt this turn to kill that stuff. I don't know how viable that is. My opponent's going to get to start Goblin Well during these Astrolabes in and out of play to just draw an extra card every turn. And that starts this turn, unfortunately. I almost need to wait a turn, and then on my next turn go like Snapcaster Brainstorm with 3 land, and then have 2 mana to do something else with it. I'm afraid of getting Brainstorm locked if I just go for it this turn. I think I need to hemorrhage some value here. And then try to find like an Ooze, a Pernicious Deed, or something of that nature. Culligan's Command would be fine as well. This is crap. The Goblin Engineer resolves, and it will put a Painter's Servant into the graveyard. Oh, fuck. You monster. I love it. And excuse me while I snip this one. That one gets saved for the future. My God. Painter is OP. That's what we're gonna title that one. Just wow. That's all that I have to say. I expected bad. Did not expect that bad. I also definitely thought Goblin Engineer only let you search up small stuff. So I need to reread that card. I thought there was like a CMC 3 or less clause. Or is that just on the activated ability? It's on the activated ability. You can also cast a Sundering Titan via Emery, so that's cool. So Stryfo is the name of a player, and that player is very, very well known for playing. Since I'm land light right now and I don't want to get wastelanded, I'm going to fetch island here. And that player is very well known for playing and refining this archetype. So it's a pile of cards by a guy named Stryfo, hence the name Stryfo pile. Well, feel pretty good about playing around a wasteland. Oh yeah, we'll snap shuffle those, I think. Well, Volcanic Island does indicate some sort of Delver deck, so maybe having the Lightning Bolt's fine. Yeah, Punishing Dak is the other commonly known name of the deck. People who aren't Stryfo usually call it Stryfo pile because Stryfo is basically the only person playing it most of the time. Yeah, you can Thoughtseize me. I don't care. My hand's pretty redundant. Let me go ahead and stop on my upkeep. Yep. We'll just use this ponder to find more lands, not those cards. I am going to go ahead and play around Wasteland. It admittedly comes at a cost. The cost is I have 2 red cards in hand that I can't currently cast, but I'm just so terrified of getting wastelanded out of this game and just getting Delvered. No, I have a feeling, this league is probably going to take at least another hour. Not hitting the red source there super sucks. think I'm going to be putting back both Jaces with this and then shuffling with this Ponder. I'd be willing to take Drown in the Lock there, but I'm not willing to redraw one of those Jaces. On my next turn, I can just Snapcaster and Plague Engineer on Wizard to stop this thing from flashing back cards. So remember Basic Swamp, there's a huge backlog of daily D&T videos on Thraben University. And by that I mean my YouTube channel. So I think we're up to about 150 now. Thoughtseize Arcanist Thoughtseize is pretty sick. Red land. Didn't want to redraw you. I don't think you're going to resolve. Moto Shuffler, as always, strong. So now my opponent is going to get another, like, Ponder out of this, and an Elemental token. And, oh, geez, no, they're just going for Thoughtseize. I probably would have gone for the cantrip personally there, since both of the cards that were in my hand were uncastable, without a red source being my top deck. But I can get wanting to take the Lightning Bolt. Is Pernicious Deed in my main deck? Or my sideboard? It's in my sideboard. I don't think this game is indicative of how this matchup is going to go. Because I feel like I'm just piles and piles of removal, and I just don't have any of it here. So I'm going to take out this first, in the hopes of finding my Toxic Deluge to deal with the Pyromancer. It's possible that I can beat a young Pyromancer. I'm terrified of Wasteland. I don't want to lose the Wasteland. Can't cast all his red cards. Okay. We're not technically dead there, but if we like forced to save that damage, we're not winning this game. Alright. Plague Engineer in. Deed in. This is a removal spell. It's in. This is Life Gain. This is a removal spell. We probably even play that. Could even play that. Could even play these. Alright, what don't I want? I don't want things that 2-for-1 me. I just want to have a giant pile of removal spells. I probably don't want Jace that's just going to get like bolted or hydroblasted and it's a huge investment of resources. I don't want this. That costs me life. I want to trade card for card with them without losing life. Does this block? Can block creatures with flying. There we go. It trades with the Delver in combat. Is an Ocean Thief better than Leovold? I guess Leovold's super color intensive. I was just thinking that as a 3/3 it walls Young Pyromancer and Arcanist. Maybe I play neither. Like maybe Notion Thief is too fragile. Trim a DAC for a Notion Thief. DAC doesn't immediately impact the board. I'll buy that. I could also see playing a Tireless Tracker. Just as another threat since I've gone like -2 Jace, -1 DAC Vaden. But I've also added Plague Engineer and Ooze, so I guess that evens out. Nope. Yes. We're gonna get rid of the thing that costs a lot of mana. And now I have to like choose, do I want to play around like Stifle, Wasteland, both? I think I'm not going to play around Wasteland. That super punished me last game. I'm going to cast something into a Daze here. I think it's Ponder. Those are great cards, but I'm really just looking for lands. I am not willing to make the first move here. Like, I think if I tap out for, like, Dak or Oko, my opponent pulls way ahead. No, absolutely not. Like, my opponent can have Daze, Force of Will, Force of Negation, Spell Pierce that all just, like, super, super punish me for that. I think I'd rather hold up Hydroblast. If my opponent doesn't do anything that I can Hydroblast, on their end step, I will just Brainstorm to hit another land drop, and I'll probably just pass the turn again, so that for the following turn I can Snapcaster Brainstorm, if they still put me in the same situation. Uh... Huh. So I'll Brainstorm in response, as untapping this land is just free. I don't like this. I'm A, Brainstorm lock, B, since I drew Trop naturally after fetching for Trop, I don't have the black mana I need to try to K-command. This is a disaster. So we're going to put back Push. K command. And then that's going to resolve. We'll jam Oko and Dak into it in some order. Yeah, I probably should have gotten Underground Sea. You make lots of mistakes when you're streaming, especially when you're streaming a new deck. But yeah, if I had Grove, it's very possible I should have gotten C earlier. So Dak is probably... Well, no, Oko's the card that I care about resolving. Oko turning this into an Elk is a way back in this game. My opponent has to have soft permission. They played no creatures out this game yet. I'm also Brainstorm locked, though. Alright. Let's feed the graveyard over there. We can spend a few turns untapping our stuff. Well, I have to try to kill that. Alright, so they have a ton of soft permission, it seems. Okay. Next turn I can attempt a K command on a Winter Orb. This is called Swinging for the Fences. This is one of the best K commands ever if it works. Boo! No, they had to force a will my first answer to Winter Orb, so I don't think they actually have days. So I'm willing to do those things on my turn. No, so the thing about your line is that if my K command doesn't work on the next turn, I can still Fatal Push this young Pyromancer and just leave them with an Elemental, and I'm fine with there being a 16-turn clock. So I really like my line. So in my next turn cycle, I probably have to Assassin's Trophy the Winter Orb to get my mana back, and then Pernicious Deed the following turn. Yeah, definitely have to do that now. Yeah. Whereas if I go for the like end of their turn fatal push, then I'm only left on 2 mana for my turn, and I think that severely limits my options. Or if I don't play around days, no, I guess Deed doesn't really work this turn. So I think I need to go. Okay, if I wait, I give them a mana, and they can spell pierce. But if I don't wait, I get Force of Negation. Yeah, I know I need to spell pierce. Sorry, I know I need to kill the Winter Orb. The question is when. So there's probably one-ish Force of Negation. Maybe 2. The number of spell pierces is very variable. Yes, the answer is now. The question is like now my main phase or now their upkeep. They play around different things. I think I'm going to play around Force of Negation by doing it on my opponent's turn. And if I get spell pierced, I'm going to be mad. God, the third Force of Will? If you asked me how I thought the matches versus Delver would go, I would have said I thought they would be a landslide in my direction. So main deck, I have 1, 2, I'm going to count that as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, effectively 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 different things that interact with creatures in play. And I add more for post-board games. That was super frustrating. So maybe I lost game 1 due to not fetching Underground Sea. But game 2, I did not have a lot of play. The Winter Orb is probably a singleton sideboard card. Just absolutely hosed me. I had multiple answers to it, but 3 of them in a row got answered via Force of Will. Just brutal. Remember, nobody is safe from getting Delvered. No matter who you are, you can get Delvered. So tonight is just the night of losing to weird cards. Like, we've gotten Sundering Titaned and Winter Orbed from decks that I didn't necessarily expect those things from. With the Sundering Titan definitely being scarier and rarer than the Winter Orb. Nope. Absolutely not. So I guess this is like some sort of blue-black reanimator, or alternatively it could be a Hogak deck. So I need to get lands that cast both Assassin's Trophy and Dak Faden. So I can't get like a bayou here. This could be in. So if this one is underground sea, then we need green, red for the other. That doesn't work. This could be Badlands. And then I get Trop with my next one. Yeah, that's fine. Underground sea for Dredge would be weird. Yeah, this is Hogak. We are not going to take their Bloodcast. We will awkwardly take their Cabal Therapy. We didn't really get value out of that. My opponent's hand is god-awful, though. Yeah, what happens if we Assassin's Trophy the Bloodghast? Will everything be fine? I would accept the Punishing Fire from these cards, but I don't really know that I want anything else. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take a shuffle here. That's not really what I wanted. So, like, if I had kept those cards, I would have kept the Punishing Fire and then just dacked through the stuff that's on top of the library already. And I don't know that that's really where I want to be. Oh god, I'm so glad that my opponent is just, like, playing Outlands rather than holding them for the Bloodghast. So if I play this Dak Faden, while my opponent has two different creatures in play, that's no good for me. So I'll probably end up Assassin's Trophying the Gravecrawler on their turn. And then playing the Dak onto a board where it can actually survive. I am not interested in a Magic MMORPG. I am not really interested in an MMORPG, like, basically, period. So, it's not super relevant for me, and I haven't watched it. I think whatever okay, they have one swamp. That's good to know for future games. I think whatever resources they spent on this RPG would probably better be spent on just improving Arena. I also feel like they'd be better off with a MOBA. I'm going to play Dak this turn rather than Ponder, I think. So if I Ponder, I'm looking for a Plague Engineer or an Oko. And I think I can, like, just put a Dak on board and then try to do similar things. I'm going to Dak and try to loot away. Well, I could Dak, loot away both of these, and leave up Ponder afterwards if I play a land first. I kind of want a land, but I'm pretty likely to hit one. No, I'm gonna go ahead and Dak before making a land drop and, like, try to use that to inform the rest of my turn. It might make it so I don't cast his Ponder this turn, but I think that's okay. Alright. So Swamp is definitely going. And then I think Brainstorm is going. I'm going to awkwardly hit that land drop, kind of like I was talking about, and not ponder with it. But now, between Dak and Ponder, I should hopefully be able to go and dig towards Grove of the Burn Willows. And Grove of the Burn Willows is a great way to deal with this Bloodghast plus 2 fetch lands. Oh man, I absolutely lost it when I read that tweet. Like, I literally don't know a single player who, out of good habit, ever has to close a game to make it run better. Like, what an embarrassment of an answer that was. Our software is so bad that you can't keep playing it. That's a rough thing to admit. Alright, my opponent is choosing to ignore the Dak Faden and just go straight for my life total. Alright, they're going to Cabal Therapy me. That's fine. Opponent names Force of Will, so maybe they have something they want to resolve this turn. Yeah, I think Memory Leak is the easiest explanation to something like what Moto's been doing to a lot of people recently. Alright, Stitcher Supplier. Opponent gets to do things now. Bridge from Below is super obnoxious. And makes my plan of just punishing firing everything away notably worse. Bloodghast is going to get to come back here as well. Oh no, it's the Gak. Drown in the Lock is a little late here. I can Toxic Deluge for X equals 8 and then die to zombies. Alright, I'm gonna loot. No. No. Ponder. No. Yes. Snapcaster. Snapcaster Thoughtseize. Snapcaster Ponder. Nope. Nope. We got gacked. I thought after we countered that initial discard spell that we had put ourselves into an okay position. But my opponent put together a nasty sequence that turn off that Stitcher's Supplier. Alright. So Plague Engineer is pretty good if they don't have bridges. So I definitely want Ooze, Spellbomb, Surgical. I probably want Deed to clean up zombies. There are some of these things in the sideboard that can just block acceptably, like Tireless Tracker and Leovold, and I might just, kind of like I did before, I might just need to bring in a couple more creatures so that I'm better off against Bridge. So I think I'm not going to Veil. I think I'm not going to Pyroblast. I can Pyroblast Crabs and Careful Studies. Maybe it's good enough. I think this is too slow. I think this is awkward. This is also awkward. I can probably trim a Dak Faden safely. And then from here, I'm kind of a little bit less certain. I feel like I have a lot of 3-drops if I do all of these. Maybe Leovold's not good enough since I can't kill it with my own Punishing Fire. I'm also actually a little bit uncertain about Force of Will, because my opponent's trying to grind through me, so maybe I'll trim one of those. Sure, it's alright if it's in your opener, but then it's pretty dead after that. So I can Force of Will the first enabler, and maybe Drown and lock a spell after that? Is this hand actually good enough, though? So it'd be Force of Will pitching Oko. I have an answer to the first couple things I can put into play, but I'm not sure about this one. I'm going to think about this for a second, grab myself a piece of candy. No one in chat has saved me and given me advice. I think this one's borderline. I'm going to keep it. Leyline? I don't know that Leyline's worth a card. That's awkward. Or no, Controller's Graveyard. Yeah, this is still live. I can also Assassin's Trophy this if I need to. My opponent, for some reason, fetches a Swamp. I might just Sinkhole them. So, Drown in the Lock cares about the controller's graveyard, not my graveyard, so this card is totally still live. If I want to Assassin's Trophy this Leyline, this is kind of my turn to do it, though. Because if I draw a land, I will just slam the Oko. So I need to think about my long-term prospects of wanting to use my graveyard, either via Punishing Fire or Snapcaster Mage. I don't have either one of those cards currently. Yeah, exactly. Like, if this was any card that did something, I would be much more scared. I think I'm going to try to play around the Leyline in this game. Missing that land drop is brutal. I will now probably Assassin's Trophy the Leyline if my opponent doesn't do anything on their turns. What the F did my opponent keep? That they're playing Hogak. and they don't make any plays for the first 3 turns of the game. Yeah, like, do they just have a hand of, like, Leylines, Decays, Hogaaks, no graveyard? So is it Tropical Island here? No, then I don't have red. Badlands, then I don't have green. I guess if I want green this turn, it is going to be Tropical Island. It just means I can't cast the Punishing Fire or the DAC. Oh, I bet my opponent will, like, Veil of Summer this. That might be what they have. Okay, what am I casting? I think I'm going to cast the more broken Planeswalker. This one's worse if my opponent just, like, immediately Abrupt Decays it. But I'm fine with that. And if one of my things is going to get destroyed, I would rather it be Oko than DAC. Like, if Oko lives and it takes over the game, that's awesome. But if Oko dies, and then I keep a DAC around to dig me towards the things that I actually need, it's probably pretty strong. I don't even think I Force a Will that. Well, maybe I do. So I could force Pitch Drown in the lock, then resolve DAC Faden. Or alternatively, I can just wait till I have a fetch land and Fatal Push it. Or wait until they fetch and then Drown in the lock it. Nah, I'm gonna let that resolve. Oh yeah, the food will just do it too. Hey, Dr. Bill, thank you very much for your continued support. Hope you're doing well. Hope to get out in your neck of the woods sometimes in the next month or two. Maybe we can do lunch or something like that. The girlfriend and I have been talking about just doing kind of a day trip to Charlotte or Asheville or something. So if I end up heading that way, I'll let you know. That's a reindeer dog. It's pretty strong. How greedy am I? I'd really like to just hit a land so that I can do multiple things with my turn. So I think I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm here. I mean, that counts as hitting a land. I don't love it. So I'm probably going to hide my DAC on top. And then maybe the brainstorm under it. So now since I hit my land drop, I can sacrifice my food and Fatal Push this Vengevine. No, I lived in Roanoke until recently, and now I'm in Shelby, North Carolina, which is about an hour outside of Charlotte. Uh, that needs to get Force of Willed. Oh no, I can get cute. Oh no, I can't. So I was thinking I could Fatal Push the Vengevine so that I could drown and lock that. Um, that's not gonna happen. If I had another black available, hmm. I'm not gonna try to get cute and destroy that. I'm just going to counter it. Yeah, Star City Games was my local game store. So I suppose the answer to that question is yes. Smaniotado, thank you very much for following, as well as Falknog from a while ago and Will Drazi. I'm not used to seeing Dryad Arbor in these lists. I am A-okay with my opponent having Dryad Arbor. Do I just want to Punishing Fire this Dryad Arbor right now? So the Dryad Arbor is potentially there to get a Hogak out. But if my opponent can't Hogak, it's just like super free for me to like Dak Fade and loot this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and Dak. I'm going to plus. I'll get rid of my Punishing Fire. I'll rebuy it. No, I'll wait to rebuy it. Ooh, Lightning Bolt is interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and junk Punishing Fire and Lightning Bolt, I guess. So if my opponent Hogaks, I have Assassin's Trophy for the Hogak. Alright, so now that's going to be for Altar of Dementia. Oh, Stealing Altar is cute. Alright, opponent going for sort of swinging for the fences by sacking that Dryad Arbor. Oh man, having another Gravecrawler sucks for me. That means I get back to Vengevine. So I can have a decent number of looks. On my turn for like a Spell Bomb. So I think I need to take this, or I'm going to lose to it in the long term. So I'm going to take this first and make them think about whether or not they want to continue to mill themselves. They do not. So now I'm going to brainstorm. Surgical is good, but it may be a touch late. If I'm willing to live dangerously, I can Punishing Fire, Gravecrawler, Assassin's Trophy Gravecrawler, surgically extract both. But doing so would mean putting back Brainstorm. And I'll lose the Dak Vaden to Vengevine. No, I could put back Delta Brainstorm, redraw the Brainstorm next turn and do all that, but then I'm drawing a land the following turn. Maybe not. Alright, yeah. Alright. I don't think I have to make a move yet. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for my opponent to take some actions. Veil of Summer would be obnoxious, but then there's worlds where my Dak Faden could come out alive. Yeah, that's fine. A third Gravecrawler would suck here. Bridges. Bridges are interesting. So that probably alright, I think my plan has probably changed. I think I'm probably going to end up surgically extracting Bridges. Please don't cast any more spells. Oh, thank God. Thank you for showing me that land. Alright, so both Gravecrawlers are attacking Dak Faden. So I think Dak Faden is dead. Bridge, 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 bridge. Anything neat in here? Oh man, I don't have to worry about Veil of Summer. And my opponent is randomly playing 2 Leyline of the Voids. So now I just need to clean up the board. So I'll just let Dak fade and die here. I'll kill the Vengevine. Then I'll kill the Stitcher's Supplier at some point in the not-too-distant future. And then deal with the Gravecrawlers. I need to kill both Gravecrawlers in the same turn, so they can't just use one to recast the other, though. Yeah, I know. So, like, this needs to go first, then I need to kill both of these in the same turn, so you can't use them to recast each other. So I can go Punishing Fire, kill a Stitcher Supplier, rebuy... Alright, Punishing Fire, rebuy Punishing Fire, cast Punishing Fire without playing this land. So I am going to hold this land because I boarded in Tracker. This is awkwardly giving my opponent some extra value. Alright, I've gotten the Bridge from Below's out. So if my opponent has top-decked a creature, it's super awkward for me to kill a Gravecrawler here. So I'm going to take this Gravecrawler damage, because I don't want them to return a Vengevine if they've top-decked a creature, by being able to just recast a Gravecrawler. So on my end step, I'll return Punishing Fire, kill one, and I'll Punishing Fire, kill the other. Bah. Alright. If they have a creature that is a zombie, I'm super screwed. Okay. That's not the end of the world, but I have so many top decks that devastate me. So it's 3 Stitchers, 2 Gravecrawlers. At this point, a Careful Study as well probably does it. Actually, this might not be that bad. No, the Vengevines are the problem here. Not necessarily the Gravecrawlers. So I'm going to be killing a Vengevine this turn. Rather than a Gravecrawler, because if I draw Plague Engineer and put it on Zombie, it answers all 3 of these forever. Well, almost forever. Geez, does the opponent have Hogak too? Your Cabal Therapy resolves. Yes, Hogak should destroy fair blue decks like this one. I think my opponent has probably... I think my opponent probably made a very poor mulligan decision in keeping their hand this game. But I've drawn too many lands here to be able to punish that. So awkwardly, that means that Scavenging Ooze, you're probably like just one turn too late. I'm going to play Scavenging Ooze, pass the turn, and we'll see what my opponent does. The fact that Hogak has Trample here is pretty devastating. I can Punishing Fire a Gravecrawler, and Punishing Fire a second Gravecrawler, block a Vengevine, take 10, die. Yeah, my best outs involve my opponent not attacking. I think I could have won this one if the Scavenging Ooze was one card higher in my deck. Like, if I had had that last turn to stop the Vengevine shenanigans, I think I have time to potentially beat a Hogak. I guess I need to eat that. Nope, I can't eat that. The Verdant Catacombs will just get it in response. But I need to make my opponent see that. Wow, opponent just let me eat that? Do you not have another fetchable source? Bonus Gravecrawler. Oh, shoot. I could have Punishing Fired something in response there and then return it to my hand. I think I'm dead anyway, but, you know. Good habits. So if they did have another land, why did they let me eat the Bloodghast? So I'm at 9 life. Don't do it. Don't shove them all sideways. Oh, opponent saw the line. So I can block 4 of Hogak, take 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 after Punishing Firing 1. Didn't even get to stack my Ooze to Altar of Dementia. Alright, opponent is taking too long to give me priority, so I'm just going to concede. Alright, that was a devastatingly bad league for me. I definitely do not think that I played optimally, but I do think I deserve better than a 1-4 for how I played. I think the deck's fine, but I think sort of like 4-color Loam, this is a deck that you need to have the reps in with in order to do well with, because understanding your role is so important when you have all of these weird main deck and sideboard singletons that you need to be digging towards. We did kind of get some weird things as far as the matchup lottery went, in that we played against like graveyard-based combo twice, which I don't think is something that we want to be doing with only 3 pieces of graveyard hate available to us. And some of the decisions, like maybe main decking some of these things, ended up being a little bit questionable for us. But, you know, it is what it is. It was fun, and thank you very much for the donation. I did enjoy playing this deck tonight, despite the fact that I got absolutely stomped. So, just kind of general stream announcements. I'll be going out of town starting Friday for about 2 weeks. So definitely the week of the 23rd, and at least the beginning of the week of the 30th, you're not going to see any streams from me. I have YouTube content queued up for ahead of time, so daily D&T is still happening for at least the next week, and I have videos recorded for the following week for if I get a donation. I hope you all have enjoyed. I put a new donation goal at the bottom. So every time that someone chooses to support my Twitch streams by, giving me a deck list to play and donating, I'm going to tick that counter up by 1. When we get to 3 donations, I'm going to start trying to expand my range a little bit more, and I'm going to actively start playing decks that I normally don't play on stream. So you'll get a little bit of variety of content, and you'll see me start trying to master some new decks and like play multiple streams with the same deck in order to learn it. No spoilers, but I've got a couple of decks that I've picked out for this process, and that's something that I'll probably do over the next couple of months once we hit that goal. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider following, subscribing, or doing something else to support my channel. I'm going to go ahead and turn you over to Anurag, who looks like they're playing some Snackicals. I guess that's Oko Miracles. And I hope you enjoy that content as well.